All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 114, 2024 Week 3 review, Week 14 previews, plus another Bears heartbreak. But, alas, EBERFLUS was fired, thankfully. Not on Thanksgiving, but it came right after Thanksgiving like I called it. Lots to talk about before we get going. You can find me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, on Twitter. You can find us on Freezin #4 Pod on TikTok. And we are obviously Trevor has some coaching his son for a little bit now. So we're going to be missing him, but always glad to have Miles join in and give the Packer takes. So where can everyone find you, Miles, as we get started?
Yeah, man. Good evening. You guys can find me every Monday night at 9:30 Central PM live streaming Pack Weekly Pod. We're on all the podcast spaces, but most importantly on that Packers Talk YouTube channel. So check us out and subscribe and come talk Pack.
Always great stuff, especially behind those sunglasses. Glasses, half full for you. I don't mind. I don't blame you. So, for me, I definitely don't have those glasses full right now. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Where can we find you? Seventh letter as we get started.
Seventh letter 4 on Twitter X. Same OG on Instagram and Facebook. Blue juice in hand, top of the NFC North. Fuck it, the NFC. Would you know?
It might be top of the NFL, really. I mean,
and yeah, really, and with all the injuries, you're still there. Obviously, I mean, we'll big game coming on Thursday, and with the Packers, we'll talk about that as well. Shelby is off; she's working tonight, and no other Viking person was able to come on tonight. But hey, that's okay. We'll still, dump on the Vikings as we will. And I continue to say, hey, maybe they are frauds. I don't know. Somehow they keep winning. I don't know what's going on there. But let's kind of get right into that while we have a chance to dump on the Vikings. I don't know what happened, but the Vikings seem to rally past the Cardinals 23-22. Are there any helmet stickers that we can give out to the Vikings this week other than maybe the Cardinals imploding or what happened there?
I say the defense played really, really well. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end, they still can't cover, but they get a lot of turn. Like for some reason, them suck ass cornerbacks and that secondary get a lot of interceptions. They get a lot of sacks. You know what I'm saying? And if Kyler Murray, he kind of plays into the hands of people like that. So they're very well coached as well. So that's another thing. So they're not as good as the record, but they're very well coached. And Sam Darnold has been steady. You know what I mean? He's good. He led a game-winning drive last week. So Sam Darnold's playing his ass off, yo. So I guess I'll get a helmet sticker to him. He did go down and have the game-winning touchdown. You know what I mean? So
tell you what, yeah. I mean, the defense, like bend don't break. I mean, they still gave up a decent amount to Kyler Murray, and James Conner had a decent game against them, but they missed some field goals, I believe, as well. So they had some issues. They still somehow pulled this out. Miles, are you buying the purple train here?
No.
Okay, good.
No. I mean, they're not like fake. There's been years before where the Vikings were flat out frauds, and they're not that.
Especially 2022.
They're not that. But they're not. I just don't see them, like 10-2. I don't see the Vikings as an intimidating team as a 10-2 team should be. Like I still see holes. I still see vulnerabilities. Like the Cardinals are not a great team. They do have strengths, but they're just like as a team, as a unit, they're not there. And I would expect a 10-2 team to take care of business against the Cardinals. And didn't happen. Winners win. And I've been saying that about the Packers all season. So it's like winning is winning. I'm not gonna like take it away from that, but it just it feels like they're overachieving. I mean, when Sam Darnold is your leading rusher, like that's just not a good place to be, you know?
And Aaron Jones continues to fumble too. Like
what I tell y'all, he always fumble with Green Bay too. I always said that. It always was Jamal Williams. He used to be the one killing us, because Aaron Jones always fumbled, Joe. He fumbled in that game when we beat him in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. He fumbles. That's what he does. He's fast and explosive. Like, he'll kill you with his speed because he'll gas you, but he always fumbled. That's not nothing new. Nothing new at all. But he kind of redeemed himself. Stayed in it and had the game-winning touchdown. So, and he's a really good guy. So that's another
exactly.
So he's a good locker room. A lot of times people undervalue locker room people, and they're very important. This is why Reynolds is still on our team. He don't barely play number 13, the running back. It's a couple Vaki's a better running back than him, but we kept him still because he's a good locker room guy. Those are, glue pieces. They are important.
Yeah, I like Craig Reynolds, actually. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to be, a solid, running back. But obviously, that piece right there, and obviously locker room guy, that's good. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the game that I did go to. So I did attend the Packers game on Thanksgiving Day in Green Bay versus the Dolphins. A friend of mine is a big Dolphins fan.
Man, your troll backfired on you.
No, I did. Well, kind of did it. I still love my fans that post all my stuff, so I appreciate that, good and bad. But yeah, it was chilly. I gotta say, before I say anything negative, I'm gonna say something good about Green Bay. All right, the whole atmosphere around Green Bay with all the houses, and because I have my friends, we stayed there that live a few blocks from Lambeau, and it was just, we could walk right to the game, and just all of the different houses, parking cars and all the different parties and tailgates. It just really is an amazing atmosphere for a football game. And I don't think you have that anywhere else in the entire NFL, or maybe even in the entire, sports landscape. I mean, just the way it's kind of tucked in there. I mean, a lot of, places have good tailgating, atmospheres, but this just kind of extends all the way into the regular neighborhoods. And it just got kind of like a high school, college type feel. It's just, so I like that part of it. But Miles, I'll let you kind of speak to that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I did get to spend some good years around Lambeau and going to Packers games. I mean, including 2010 when they won the Super Bowl. And it's a special place. And I guess I've got a pretty unique perspective, having grown up in the DFW area around Jerry World and this whole circus that's going on down here. And then, going to college up at UW Oshkosh and being around the Packers at Lambeau and getting to go a bunch of games there and just having the contrast. I mean, to go to a game at Jerry World and tailgate in a decent place, like park and tailgate in a decent place, it's like $150 to $200.
Wow,
that's insane, man.
Yeah,
Jerry. And where you could go to Lambeau and park, I mean, across the street for $40, and you'll walk out with a free beer and a free brat. I mean, like it's just such a drastic difference in experience. And that's, let's be clear, I don't want to knock anything that doesn't deserve to be knocked. The tailgating at Jerry World is very good. They know how to get it on out there. Great food, great atmosphere. You can go out there and just hang out during the game and watch the game. It's a lot of fun out there, but it is nothing near the just traditional football experience that Lambeau Field is. And it does not matter what team you're with. You got to put it on the bucket list because you will be treated well and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously, and I was incognito. I had my Dolphins gear on, and everyone was still, kind of, pretty nice. Obviously, if I had my Bears stuff on, that might have been a little bit different. But it just, there were so many options, just to, different parties to go to and different bars and all of that. And so, ambiance as well. We got a little bit of snow and it was just kind of the perfect amount. And so it was a really great experience all around. So, That is about the extent I'm going to talk good about the Packers this round. I'm going to let you start, though.
Can't get
Miles.
too carried away, man.
Oh, definitely not. Miles, go ahead and hand out some helmet stickers for the win versus the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a fun win, and I hope I'm not cutting out there. Just to provide a little bit of a setup there, like anytime you can win a game by multiple scores in the NFL, you just got to enjoy that. Like Packers fans are really good at getting upset about things for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I just always have to feel like I'm constantly like combating that. So just a lot of fun winning 30-17, just laying that out there. Helmet stickers, definitely a big one goes to Jaden Reed coming back on the scene with 2 tutties. Love seeing that. Just the Packers defense right now, the way that they're coming together, being able to shut down those receivers for the Dolphins without Jair Alexander, I think was a great defensive accomplishment. And I don't think it goes to any singular DB, but definitely the DB squad there did a great job. And, credit to Halfley, as I think he's doing a great job of game planning each week right now. That's something that we were starved for during the Joe Barry days. So I'm very excited with how this defense is progressing. I believe I saw today that they are officially ranked number 10 defense in the league. Top 10 defense is something that the Packers are not necessarily familiar with. So, yeah, all around very, very excited with the progress I'm seeing from the defense and seeing the offense continue to chug forward. Josh Jacobs doing his thing. He got another touchdown. He didn't have a huge game. I'm not going to give him a helmet sticker, just a shout out, because only 2.3 carries, not a helmet sticker worthy day. But he has, to speak on what Seventh Letter was saying about Aaron Jones earlier, the Packers and the Packers fans, I think, largely expected to keep Aaron Jones for that reason. Like, he was glue, man. Like, you could feel it last offseason and the postseason and what he was doing, that he was a very integral part of the chemistry of that locker room. So I think it was a real big shock when the news came that he wasn't going to be there. But Josh Jacobs has impossibly filled those shoes. And it is, I would have bet against it. You know what I mean? Like, just as a Packers fan, I would have bet against that he could fill the shoes of Aaron Jones. Like, maybe he'll be a decent running back, but will he be the same guy in the locker room? I would have bet against it. And I think it's safe to say that he has filled those shoes. So shout out to Josh Jacobs for continuing to do what he's doing, even after a little bit of a less impressive performance for his standards. To this point in the season, they are not where they are without him, like not even close. So
I would agree, and obviously I said I was going to say anything more good about Green Bay, but I do have to say that when obviously you talk about Aaron Jones fumbling, and I remember thinking in that game, obviously hoping the Dolphins would kind of turn things around later on, and I'm just like thinking, any of the Packer running backs, they're not fumbling. Josh Jacobs is not fumbling. And that's, one thing I worried about at the beginning of the season, if Josh Jacobs was durable. He is durable, and he's getting the ball. He's not fumbling. So, I mean, that's what it takes in the cold weather game, and they were just going to do that. So, obviously, shout out to him as well. I do have to give some helmet stickers couple things. Obviously, number one, the special teams, because right away I just remember that first drive, the Dolphins defense stopped them, and kind of excited. Okay, and then right away that they forced in that fumble, obviously that turnover, and then turn it right into points. I mean, that was deflating, and right from then on it was just like, okay, this game is it's just pretty much over. And then that was the hard thing with it being so cold. But I do have to say, and I'm going to keep saying this, Packers get Lambeau calls. It just is. I mean, you look at so many of those plays, they kept, these sweeps or different things around, like they were not getting holding calls at all. None of them. And then you could see clearly that there was holding. And then it was just such a drastic difference from what the Dolphins were getting as far as they were it was like every single, something good would happen for the Dolphins. Oh, it's coming back. And literally, I think toward the end of the game, Dolphins had a good play, and the refs got together and were trying to decide. And I remember kind of yelling in my seat. I'm like, oh, they're trying to decide if they were talking here. They're talking. Oh, no, we can't call that. Oh, maybe we'll call that. Oh, we can't call that. It was just I was having this discussion around all these other Packer fans, and they were kind of being quiet. So I don't know, all these Lambeau calls. It just I don't know. Seventh letter. Are you seeing it too?
For the Packers, but the Dolphins looked overmatched, man.
They did, yeah.
They
didn't want to be there.
Yeah. It's kind of like the 49ers looked on Monday, like they just. I want to go home. I want to go home. They want to go home. They ain't want to be there. They're not ready. Like Tua's not that. Like I got a lot of respect for him because he plays hard. Like even with the injuries and everything, he just plays with a lot of heart. But when you outside and if he's outside in any conditions, man, I mean, it's such a he doesn't have enough on the ball for when there's any type of inclement weather at all. You know what I mean? Like the ball looks so slow coming out his hands. It's just, I was just praying that he didn't get hurt at like the third or fourth quarter because like the pass rush started to get home. Like just don't hurt him so you can go home.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't want to be there. It was a very, very, that was a sucky game. I think we had the best game on Sunday, Andy. You know what I mean?
I agree. And let's get right into that one. The Lions escaped 23-21 versus the Bears. So I ended up, I was at some friend's house, obviously having Thanksgiving, meal, getting ready to go to Lambeau that night. And these friends that live close to Lambeau, they just happen to be Lions fans. So they were kind of were going back and forth. And the downstairs TV actually was a little bit behind the upstairs one. And so they went upstairs and I heard them yell, "Okay, you can stay, Andy." So I'm like, okay. And then I saw the incomplete pass, and it was just, I'm kind of numb to it. I kind of I figured it would happen. I mean, I think
Who do you blame?
Who do I blame? Obviously, that EBERFLUS. You got a rookie quarterback, and he probably should have called a timeout or something there. But you have to have a head coach that's going to take the lead, call a timeout, be prepared, and that's a problem. Like EBERFLUS in the when he was hired, that he was detail oriented. He had all of these things, and Ryan Poles, that's why he picked this guy, because he had all these details that he was ready and he was good with the details, and just he has proven time and time again, like in these moments, he just cannot. I guess we should do this one here. Bears timed out. We're passing out blame here. He just, in big moments, he shrivels, and obviously he's lost the locker room. Jalen Johnson, after the game, obviously went off on him in the locker room. But that's the problem too. Like in these press conferences, he continues to double and triple and quadruple down and say that he likes what happened. He just no accountability, and that's kind of been the problem all year for him. And so that's
he sounds like Matt Patricia. It's the same thing.
Okay. Yes. And that's the thing. Like you like it when coaches are going to be real, going to be honest. And these players, I mean, they're professionals. They've heard this over and over again. They know when a coach is real. And that's, that's been the difference on the offensive side of the ball with Thomas Brown is he's real. And Shane Waldron was just a guy. I don't know what Ryan Poles was thinking on those hires prior, and how Thomas Brown didn't at least kind of float to the top, at least for offensive coordinator. It would be a different season, I think, had he been there. He had done it before. Shane Waldron hadn't. So so that's a lot of blame is coaching. Caleb has shown that he can come back and, make some plays, even when it seems impossible. And that, so that's kind of where I'm passing out blame. Obviously, You may have a different take.
You don't blame him for taking them sacks. Why does he always take sacks on game-winning drives?
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously part of that's part of the match.
Why didn't he call timeout?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Caleb is so unprepared.
Word.
Super unprepared, man.
It's this darn coach, right? I think,
Well, listen, y'all should have, I didn't realize this. Something that came to light this week after all this goes down. Y'all should have been waving the red flag at the beginning of the season when the hits principle came out.
Well, that was out. That was out. That's been out, since EBERFLUS came. That
is some Patches O'Houlihan level garbage.
That is
dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge is what that is.
We've had previous coaches, one in particular that wrote a book, and he's wanting all his players to read that book. So it's just agreed. That's the problem. The hits is about the details, and he has not followed through on any details.
That game should not have been close at all. Like, Ben Johnson keeps saving y'all life, yo. Stop, yo.
Okay.
Yo, he has to stop doing that shit. Like, every time he just wants to be funky fresh in the red zone. We got down there running the ball every time. And as soon as he get in the red zone, he starts passing. Like, stop doing that shit. Like, do what we did to Green Bay the first time. We just ran it. We didn't try to do none of that. Like, that's where your strength is. Your strength is your strength. Stop throwing the ball in the red zone. Stop it. He did that shit, and he kept y'all. That game's supposed to have been 28-0 at the halftime.
Yeah. I was I think I texted you guys. I was, walking around Lambeau parking, and then we got to one tailgate before we went to my friend's house, and I looked, and I'm like, is this going to be a blowout? And then I turned, and it's started getting close. So I don't know how it wasn't a blowout.
He gave y'all hope. Like, that's what you do after the fumble. That's when y'all got some hope. And because it was over, like, y'all look terrible. 53 yards. Y'all ain't had no first down to like the third quarter. Like, it wasn't. Y'all look terrible.
So we'll get into this a little bit too. I guess we can start it now, but we get into the coaching change, obviously, with EBERFLUS being fired. But obviously, you're not all that high on Ben Johnson then as a coaching.
I like when he's good. When he's good, he's great. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes he does things like our strength is our offensive line, and we have Skipper there. If all our games that have been close, Taylor Decker has been out, and Dan Skipper was the left tackle. You know what I'm saying? And whenever he plays left tackle, you can't stand back there and pass the ball. Stop doing that. You're like, with them all this funky shit and waiting for these routes to develop, he can't hold up that long. You can't do it. But he is a good run blocker. Run the fucking ball. Stop that shit. We get to the red zone. Run. Montgomery. Look, we had 190 yards rushing. 190, like what I said, because we are so injured on our defense, we cannot play. Keep the ball away from them. And that's what we did in the first half. And then the second half, like we piled up, we lost 2 defensive linemen. And I'm surprised y'all didn't try to run the ball more, which you should have. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what, if Green Bay do what they did again the first game, they was killing us with the run. If they run the ball on us tomorrow, we're going to lose because we're super injured. Like DJ Reader not playing, Onzarique's hurt, Pascal's hurt. That's our run-stopping defensive players. So if they don't play, we're going to lose because they're going to give Josh Jacobs the ball if they do. Hopefully LaFleur lets us off the hook again like he did the first game. Hopefully.
I don't know if that's going to happen this time.
Because they see
that
if they run the ball, if you run Josh Jacobs, then you got then when you're successful with the run, then Love don't got to be Superman and he throws less interceptions.
Exactly.
Period. That's
kind of obviously on Love. At the Dolphins game, he threw just this. Ridiculous. I can't remember who was wide open right away in the game, and he threw it, and it was off. It was like 5-10 yards past him. I'm like, and that's where I am like, okay, well. I think mid-game, I was like, all right.
Man, your boy missed the touchdown. DJ Moore would have scored. He would have walked in.
Oh, we're not talking. Well, okay, yeah, but he's a rookie. You know, he hasn't gotten paid the bag yet.
DJ Moore was targeted 16 times last game. 16 times.
Hey, didn't you tweet? Didn't you say the Bears are better than you thought? Right?
No. What do you mean? I always said that. I said.
Oh no. Last week you said it was going to be like a bloodbath.
We should have blew y'all out. It should have been a blowout.
But it wasn't.
Y'all couldn't do nothing with us. But as soon as we get in the red zone, he wanted to throw the ball with elite corners. Everywhere.
Maybe our defense is good.
No, because y'all can't stop the run. So y'all not that good. But inside of the red zone, you guys get sticky. You're sticky back there. Like you got good cornerback. You got a good secondary.
You got break.
Stop the run. You can't stop the run. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we needed to do. Like, stop this cute. He was so like, he did it against the Cowboys last year. He did it against the Bucks this year, and I only lost. Just stop that shit. Running the ball. Stop it, yo. Stop. He kills me with that shit. I can't wait till he gone. I can't wait. He gotta go.
Careful, man.
Brilliant. I want Montgomery, the running backs coach, to be the offensive coordinator. I want him. That's why. Scotty Montgomery, let him do it because he's gonna run that ball. Run the ball, yo. We don't have that kind of team. Jamison Williams still developing. We don't have those kind of receivers. Amon-Ra he's a good receiver. He's a great receiver.
He is a great receiver.
He plays big in big games. That's why I like him. He ain't scared of the moment, and that's why I think he's special. He's like Hines Ward, but even with Hines Ward, they drafted Plexico Burris in the first round because
Janzi disagrees with you. Not sure what he disagrees with.
He's been hitting a few.
They like Ben Johnson. Everybody love Ben Johnson. Like, yeah, of course, get him. I'm tired of him, yo, with this cute shit. He has to go. I'm just tired of him.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Obviously, he is the hot coaching name right here. But I mean, obviously, when your team wins and your offense does well, getting rid of Ben. He wants to get rid of Ben.
Okay, yeah.
Get him out of there. I'm tired of him.
Okay.
Oh, he's saying that's what he disagrees with you on.
No, I think listen, Ben Johnson, when he's good, he's great. If we win a Super Bowl with him, he deserves to be a head coach somewhere. But sometimes he gets too cute. Like I like the Panay shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that he didn't throw. But we gotta win. Like, we hurt on defense. Every down counts. Every possession counts. So we gotta hold this ball. We can't waste downs. We're not loaded right now. It's a lot of injuries. We don't have Carlton Davis out there, so we can't hold up against them receivers. We got Vildor in the game.
Yeah.
Vildor.
Yeah. Packers know him.
He played pretty good last week. To be honest, he was. That's why I'm like, he's okay, but I don't expect him to be on. He did play good. They hit him with a bullshit pass interference. That was the only time you really saw his name called. That was some bullshit. They cheated right there. I don't know what.
There's plenty of that going on. Watch a Chiefs game.
Oh God.
This is why Jan's saying he's a young coach. He's learning to. That is why I'm a little bit uneasy if Ben Johnson ends up being the Bears coach. I don't want it just to be a hot name, and does it translate? So this is we'll talk about that those candidates coming up here. But yeah, I'm a little, from what you've said, I'm a little wary of the Ben Johnson train right now. Top 7 offense of all time. I mean, you've got a lot of. I mean,
we never had a problem scoring. Like I said, Ben Johnson is a good offense. He's a great offensive coordinator, but just sometimes don't stop the cute shit. Like, let's bludgeon people, and then we can pass. Like honestly, the Jaguars was like football practice, but. We didn't score. We scored 3 touchdowns before we threw 4 passing touchdowns. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We set ourselves up for that success. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in the red zone and you get down there that way, you got down there like that, and you look at the personnel on the other side, their strength is their secondary. We can't do that. You can't just stop running. That's how we got there. Like it was killing me. We get down to the red zone on a 14-yard run, 3 straight passes. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yo?
I do want to talk a little bit about from that game, about a quote from Dan Campbell then, that he said before the game, in the team meeting, Dan said they were talking to the team, showing clips of Caleb going out of bounds and then going out. He was like, if he does this, we're going to hit his ass. I already warned the refs. The refs know. So when it happened to the game, he already knew there was no flag. Come on. Jack Campbell hit his ass. We were like, yeah, everyone on the Bears was like, what? Where's the flag? We're like, he went out, he came in and took it. So that when he hit him low, I don't know. That was a little bit dirty.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't dirty at all.
He went for his knees, though.
Huh? He went for his hip. He hit him in the hip.
Yeah.
He hit him in the hip. And stop
doing
awkward.
That. Like, quarterback just because it looked awkward doesn't mean it's dirty.
Yeah. He actually, when he tried to stop, he slipped. So it looked a lot worse because he tried to stop and his right leg slipped. It looked like he hyperextended his right leg. Go the fuck out of bounds, bro, before you get hurt. You hurt.
Yeah, I got a text from my son, and he said he thought he was hurt pretty bad. I'm like, oh, this is great, but
23.
It did. It looked ugly, but yeah, and I think some people have been making the point that there is some onus on the quarterbacks and the offensive coordinators to protect the quarterbacks and to protect themselves. You can't put the onus on the defense to protect the ball carrier.
Man, that's not fair.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's like putting the onus on the defense to like help the offense score. That's just stupid. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Hurt trying to protect the quarterback, yo.
Yeah,
like come on, bro.
You know what's been interesting? I think for the most part this season, obviously they went over in Hard Knocks is like on a slip and slide, actually learning to slide. And you look at it most of the games. If you watch most of the games with Caleb, he does that really quickly. He'll do the slide, like the slip and slide, real quick.
Yeah, but he's playing hero ball now. Like that's his thing. He's playing hero. The problem with Caleb Williams, yo, which I knew was going to be a problem. They brought him in. You know how Aaron Rodgers runs the Jets? That's what they did. They brought him in there to basically run the team and give him everything he wanted. He should have played preseason games. They didn't play him in preseason games because I don't know why. He needed to play. He started slow as hell. He should have played. Then you don't call a timeout to protect him. Like at the end, you know what I mean? They thinking he just got it and, like he gets into this hero ball mode. That's what he wants to do. All you had to do at the end of that last game is throw a 10-yard out. You had a timeout and somebody could have got out of bounds. At that point, y'all moving the ball at will. We're just depleted defensively.
Could have got 3 plays out of that.
Right.
That's what the coach is there to stabilize, and that's what Flus has just not been that way. He has not been able to stabilize and say, okay, you have this rookie quarterback. He's shown that he is leaps and bounds, even ahead of where that quarterback in Green Bay is. As a rookie, he's already there. He's making these plays. And you need to have a stabilizing coach, and Flus just kind of like crumbles in the moment. So
he's not that guy.
Before we move on, this is another thing. I gotta always like show a little bit of try to just get some. I know y'all did Justin Fields dirty. I know y'all did. Now, like the way y'all fired EBERFLUS, like he has no reason for me to feel sorry for him because he was a bum the whole time. I told you that. But the way y'all fired him, y'all let that man go out in front of people.
We didn't know. I believe him. I believe they didn't know.
It was like they went out there and said, "Okay, you finish out this shift for us," right? Like, I work in manufacturing recruiting, and we're like, you don't want to tell someone they're fired until they finish their shift. So he's got to finish his shift. One last thing, give this interview, and then he's out, right? Finish his shift, clock out, you're gone.
Last time I got fired, he walked in the room with these 2 dudes. I'm like, what the fuck are they there for? What they here for? The other 2 dudes, they started looking scared. Like, man, y'all get your ass niggas out of this room, man. Kill both of them here, man.
We did learn that you're like 6'10", so.
Yeah, but I was a different person then. I'm a lovable, huggable type of guy right now. But back like
yes, sir.
If he came in the room to fire me with 2 dudes with him.
You're 6'10"?
I'm 6'5".
No, he's 6'5". Yeah, pretty close. That was stretching a little bit. Yeah, EBERFLUS, he got finished. Shots from the sideline. Thanks for joining. Lions saved by EBERFLUS. So, all of these things.
Y'all saved by Ben Johnson.
All right. So you're not handing out any helmet stickers then tonight.
I'm handing out a helmet sticker to DJ Reader.
Okay.
Really
all right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Bears' main problem is being indecisive. If a decision falls, so be it. But they should have made a decision at the end of last year and just said, we need to start over with because that's the thing. You can't keep a lame duck head coach and get a good offensive coordinator. And that was the whole issue. I was trying to talk myself into the new Flus beard and obviously didn't work. So
I admire your spirit, man. Like you really get behind it, and I do admire that.
I appreciate that.
But the issue, if I'm a Bears fan, the issue that I have with how that whole situation goes is in the decision that they made, they demonstrated that they have no idea what the problem was to begin with.
Crazy, right? People get paid millions of dollars, and we sitting here for free.
Yep.
Yes. Ain't that crazy, yo?
Yeah.
And who gonna want to come to your team when Kevin Warren is gonna be the one picking them, and not the general?
Well,
so his days are numbered too. So so Caleb Williams is gonna be in all this conflict for the next 2 years of his career.
And he'll get the same treatment. No, now you're the problem, and we got to find the next shiny object.
Come on.
No, so I think for what Poles has done, obviously he's had some missteps. But what Poles has done, this is going to be his hire. Obviously, Warren's going to be there as well. He's, so there's some conflicting reports on that. But I think Poles has made enough good, moves, obviously, to get Caleb that trade and all that. To hopefully right this ship. And I think here's the thing. We have a team that's ready to win now. And I think we're going to find out in the next 5 games. I mean, we're 4-8, where there's the 3 games where we could have easily won 3 games. Yeah, right. So it's a huge switch. What if the Bears end up 9-8? And if the Bears end up 9-8, I think it's going to be interesting choice head coach. And we'll kind of get into that right now. And so some of the head coaching candidates, I mean, if the Bears win 5 straight or even go 4-1 or whatever they do, if they have a hot streak and they continue this offensive growth with Caleb, with an offensive coordinator, interim offensive coordinator, now head coach in Thomas Brown, what he's done with Caleb, he's going to obviously have a strong case to be a head coach. He's in that McVay, that whole tree as well, I believe. But if they make, some positive strides, it's going to be hard not to say, okay, this is our guy. I mean, I was putting in our chat earlier. I mean, just listening to him in press conferences, he's a real guy. Like maybe he could be the Bears Dan Campbell. Just some of the things he was saying, he commands a room. He's, the players listen to him, and he's real. And that's the problem. I think what's happened time and time again with Bears coach is when stories come about EBERFLUS where he was not able to even take, direct criticism. Right. And that's tough in that when you're paid that much money to do this job, that's part of it. Right.
Dude, the hits principle.
Yes.
He didn't even ask anybody. He came up with that shit on his own and put it up there. He did not even pass any assistant coaches. He didn't even like his administrative assistant. He didn't even have her print that out. Like he did that him. I shouldn't assume, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
dude, that is so bad.
It's bad. Yeah. And I remember Chicago radio making fun of that at the time. Like, but obviously
I can't believe he didn't lose the locker room entirely from that. That's just painful.
When, before you start losing, obviously winning causes, is good, right? And that's what kind of gained him this year is how they finished off last year, right? And they had the talent, and that just, when you're winning, it's different. When you're losing, all those things that you don't like come out, right? And so I think that's part of it. So I don't know.
That's just really bad, dude. If you're winning in spite of that. The hits, come on, the ball. Yeah. Come on, man.
So with what Thomas Brown has done, obviously he has, come out and just, with the players, just been very kind of like wanting to bring them back in, and just really bring them together. That's the number one thing. And you listen to him in press conferences, like he's a guy that, he's no nonsense. And obviously that's a lot Dan Campbell, right? So I like what he's done. Obviously with Caleb, I mean, in the short amount of time, just kind of unlocking some of the things that Waldron had no idea was there. So I like what he's done in the short term. What about you, Seventh Letter? What do you like or don't like about Thomas Brown so far?
Oh, no. I hope the brother do well. I hope the black man does well. All the time. I'm always going to go black. I hope he do good.
That's fair.
But I hope you guys pick up Cliff Kingsbury. So
okay. Well, there's a reason why I put him number 11 on that.
I hope so. Yeah. Now I do hope he does well, but honestly, like even with him at offense coordinator, Caleb Williams still takes bad sacks. He still starts slow.
He's
so
a rookie.
Kind of the same. He just kind of getting into superhero ball, in the second half against his divisional opponents and playing a little better because that's the type of style of football he play. You know what I mean? But you can't live like that.
You can't. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So shots from the sideline. If they don't go Brown, you go with a known commodity like Vrabel, Brian Flores. Well, we've kind of talked a little bit about Ben Johnson, some ups and downs. This has to be an offensive coach. Obviously, Vrabel is an interesting hire. Brian Flores, he just the way he came out with him and Tua being, not on the same page. He's a good defensive. Yeah, he's a good defense coordinator. I just don't see him being the one to mold Caleb. With the Bears, they're saying they need a leader of men, which it could be Cliff Kingsbury, which scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, we saw that on Hard Knocks. He's not that.
So that's obviously he's done stuff with Jaden Daniels, but that's also Jaden Daniels, right? That's how good he is.
Yeah, they figured him out. They got the tape now, and he's looking extra regular right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Flores, anybody that comes from the Patriots, stay far away. Mm-hmm. Anyone that was ever on the Patriots staff, anyone, because they all carry that Bill Belichick, assholeness out the resume. You know what I'm saying?
Like, only Bill gets away with that.
Right. He can get away with that because he has Super Bowls. All right. And he is him, and he knows what he's talking about.
Yep.
It's nothing you can tell him about football. Like, even when I watch him, because I really enjoy his podcast. I enjoy watching him on when he's on with Peyton Manning and when he's on with what's the kicker guy that's on ESPN. Yeah, like I enjoy watching him because like you could tell he loves football, but it's nothing you can tell him. He knew about my team. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I don't like, he said. I'm like, I'm not tripping. Like, if you watch it, you can tell.
So Janzy's right. It does need to be a football guy. I think
it's a lot of connections, so you can build staff, because that was another knock on EBERFLUS. His staff was not good. He did not have a good staff.
He kept having to fire people too. Exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
So Thomas Brown, I mean, we'll see kind of what he can do. Obviously, he kind of gets his audition these last 5 games. Ben Johnson, we've kind of talked about him. There's some other options here. Some are floating around the media. Some are just different ones. Joe Brady is interesting with the Bills. He's done a lot with very little on the offense side for the Bills.
Man, let me ask this. I got a question. As we're going through these names and thinking about this and talking about all this, are we asking who they should go with or who they will go with? Because I think those are very, very different things.
Why? Why would you do this to me, Miles?
Because that's what the Bears keep doing to you, man. Are you kidding me, Shane Waldron?
I was trying to avoid this very question. Thanks again, Miles.
All right, here. Now, before you answer, I'll dip into my bag a little bit, and this is a very small little nugget, but it's worth something. So on the Thomas Brown topic, Badger fan. I'm a Badger fan. I mentioned to y'all before, grandfather played for the Packers. He also played and coached for the Badgers. Thomas Brown, I believe, was a running back coach for the Badgers in 2014. And I've got friends that are very close to the program, and I remember hearing a lot of positive things about him, particularly around recruiting. He was very influential in recruiting, and obviously, running backs for the Badgers have done well. 2014 was a pretty good year for him as well. So it's just, for what that's worth, the seed, was good 10 years ago, when Thomas Brown was really early in his coaching career. I imagine that has only gotten better. I personally am afraid of them actually making that decision. But that's why I asked the question, because I don't think they'll do what they should do.
I don't either. I think they're gonna go with like a Vrabel or somebody like that, a leader of men.
I hate it here because I know you guys are right. I know you're right, and it sucks.
Because I think Ryan Poles is just, I don't know. I think he can be to let Eberflus float around that long. It's kind of showing me the weakness that I know a person like Vrabel can kind of see through and dominate, even maybe a Flores too, even though that would be a huge mistake.
Huge mistake. Absolutely. I mean, there's some other names. Obviously, we'll probably float them around, like trading for Kyle Shanahan. I mean,
how does that work out? I saw that. I was like, wait a second. What are you thinking here?
Well, I mean, there's a few different coaches that, if the 49ers are done, San Francisco's done, they could trade for him. I don't know if you get 1 first rounder, 2 first rounders, whatever you do. If you have a coach that is ready to win now, you could probably do that. But I like my first rounders. I like Kyle Shanahan a lot, but it's his system, right? And
but he never had a quarterback before. Yeah. He never had a good quarterback, and that shit'd be scary. If Shanahan ever got a real one, that offense will look crazy.
Yeah,
and y'all got tools. Y'all might need to get another kind of running back, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that because their offense works through the run a lot.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
But you can use DJ Moore like he uses Debo. You know what I'm saying? You can use like some of those, like his X, the way he uses the X receiver. But the running back, you might have to get a more sturdy running back, because Swift, you can use him like he uses McCaffrey, but he gets hurt a lot.
And Rashawn Johnson also, he has had a concussion. I'm not sure if he's going to play this week.
He's been hurt a lot.
He has been. I think it's just the way he runs. So I mean, I don't want to see Vrabel. I like him, but not as a head coach. Right?
Why not?
Just for the Bears. For the Bears, they need an offensive guy. They just need someone to really.
They would need a whiz offensive coordinator if it was going to work for Vrabel.
Right. And I feel like you get an offensive head coach, have an offensive head coach, and then you have a defensive. I mean, it's easier to fill in on the defense. It just really is.
You play in the North, man, and you play outside. I think that, like, you also can't take that into consideration. You play outside, you're going to have to run the ball there. You know what I mean? You got a young quarterback that needs to be coached. Mm-hmm. He's literally out there just doing shit.
He is, and that's how good he is. How good he is. So
that's how good.
No, man, he lost that game. A good quarterback would not have wasted 35 seconds with a timeout, man.
Right. He's a rookie.
But that's what I'm saying. He will protect him from himself. He needs to be protected from himself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And Vrabel he does have the chops to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So some other coaches, obviously a lot of them are offensive. Houston, Bobby Slowick. But
fell off. He should have took a job last year.
He should have, yes. Yep. So Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers. Dan Pitcher, he is offensive coordinator for the Bengals. Zach Robinson for the Falcons. So a lot of offensive coordinator names. We'll kind of, over the next few weeks, we'll have to dive into them until they make a decision. So a lot of great stuff on that one. Love that stuff, Miles, on Thomas Brown from the Badgers stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this week's games then. And let's go ahead and let's just we'll go ahead with the first game here, the Falcons at the Vikings. This is an interesting one. And, with the former Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins coming back to Minnesota. So, Miles, what are your thoughts on this game? Some keys, and do you think the Falcons are going to beat the Vikings?
This is an interesting one, man, because the Falcons have been sneaky good, similar to the way the Vikings have been sneaky good.
Just wins, I agree.
Yeah.
The defense is actually good over there. Like the defense was playing good. Kirk Cousins gave that game away last week.
Who did he have? Like 4 interceptions?
Yeah, he's a bum. I've been
really dang. I didn't notice that last week. Yeah, I mean Kirk's gonna Kirk, so that's definitely on the table there. And I don't know, how well Atlanta's gonna play on the road versus at home. It looks like they've definitely. I don't know. It looks like they might be about even, but yeah. I mean, this is a weird one because I feel like both of these are like they're similar character teams. Like they have the ability to show up and play really well, but they also have the ability to play down to whoever and kind of lay an egg. And so this is I don't know, man. I don't know what to predict here. I think the Vikings, I mean, obviously at 10-2, you've got to, and they're at home, you got to lean towards the Vikings, but it feels like they're cracking a little bit. It feels like they're showing those vulnerabilities again. If Sam Darnold's your leading rusher, you're definitely not in a great position. So
5.5's a lot there. That's a lot.
It is. I mean, 3 at home, like you get 3 at home, right? Basically. So they're basically getting 2.5 ahead of that. Like for a Falcons team that's on a 3-game losing streak and, you're 6-6 going against a 10-2 team, I would expect this to be like a 7 to 10 point favorite for the Vikings. So I don't think I don't know that 5.5 is a lot. I don't feel like it is. Again, like looking at the two, but the personalities of the teams make it feel a lot more even. And you do have to wonder if Kirk's going to have that kind of that play up because he's going back to Minnesota. I think it'll be a tough one, but I do think the Vikings hold up here. Brian Flores, I think, can handle the Falcons offense. I think he can give Kirk a little bit more than he can handle and win this game, but it'll probably be closer than it should.
Yeah, just like Shots here said, it'll be close. Minnesota has an issue letting teams back in. Yeah. Sam Darnold's the leading rusher. Yeah, that's a good stat there.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first thing I saw when I pulled it up. I was like, goodness gracious, man. That's not.
So you are picking the Vikings, right?
I'll take the Vikings by 3 or less. I don't think they cover the 5.5.
All right. 7th letter. What are your thoughts?
Man, the Cardinals have 400 yards on them last week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And also remember, Kirk Cousins played for the Vikings last year, and he kind of understands the defense and the pressures probably better than than someone that hasn't had to go through it every day in practice. And I don't think that the Vikings are that strong in the secondary. They do get a lot of picks though, but they're not. I don't trust them like that. But like when Amon-Ra St. Brown is catching bombs on you, like I'm not sold on that. That's not what he does. He's not like a speedy receiver or nothing like that. Like I think like this one might be a little sneaky. It'll be closer than expected, but I can easily see the Falcons winning. It's a good matchup. It's a better matchup than people probably think. I know Kirk Cousins is a bum, but I also know like he might understand the defense and the pressure and the looks that Flores might try to give him, even though he might try to mask him. I think he understands like the pressure and just get the ball out to Bijan real quick and let him do his thing. Find some Mooney. I think this is like a Darnell Mooney game right here.
Say that. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe like I'm gonna go Falcons, man.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. When you look at it, I was just gonna say that versus the Bears. So just kind of looking. I mean, Bears scored 27 points against the Vikings. Obviously, Vikings fans will say that they were playing softer defense and everything. But, hey, we came back, and DJ Moore had 106 yards receiving. Keenan Allen, 9 receptions, 86 yards and a touchdown. Rome Odunze had 39 yards. Cole Kmet even had 64 yards. So there's room to pass. And when you look at all those offensive weapons on the Falcons, Kirk's going to sling it. Kirk's almost become now like Jameis Winston, right? He's just going to, you kind of like throw it, and whatever happens. Let's move on to the next play. Throw it again. throw offense. And yeah, I agree. I am going with the Falcons this week. I think the Vikings are going to start their downturn this week. And I just, so I'm going to say the Falcons win 27-19 this week, 27-19.
Wow. Okay.
I have to go specific, because last week I said 23-20 or 24-20 Bears were going to lose. Hey, it was close, 23-20. So I was close on that.
Close enough.
So, all right. So let's go. Another one. Yeah. Shots to the sideline. We like the Falcons. 5.5 is a lot. Especially
I don't think they cover.
Cardinals game was at home too. So let's go ahead and go to the game on Thursday night. We'll start with you, Miles. So here we go. Big game on Thursday night, Packers and the Lions, visiting the Lions. Who do you think wins this week, and what are some keys that you have for the Thursday night football game?
Yeah, I think the Packers have the edge here, and that's not just a homer perspective or overly biased perspective. I feel like they got a lot of momentum, and the last time we played the Lions, there's a lot of factors involved there. It wasn't that long ago, but one of the main factors was Jordan Love definitely was not 100%. The weather certainly was a factor, which won't be inside. So I expect a cleaner game here, and I think that, in the net of things, that benefits the Packers more than it benefits the Lions, but it's going to be a tough game. I think because of the injuries on the Lions defense, the Packers have the edge there. They have the ability to get out there with Jacobs and dictate the game, and honestly, what I would hope for, and who knows how this goes down, I'm looking for the Packers to try to play that ball control game. You dominate time of possession. You're not going to have Jair Alexander. You're going up against a good offense. And yeah, they don't have their left tackle, and the left side of the O-line there is maybe a vulnerability, but the longer that offense is on the sideline, the better. And that's the way that, if the Packers, that's the way I think they should be looking at it. Run the ball, soak the clock, minimize possessions by the Lions offense, and get out of there with a W however you have to. But my gut tells me it's a 10-point win. My gut tells me 34-24.
Packers,
don't ask
right?
me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of points.
A lot of points. That's
right.
Not meant to be like a super confidence communication. It's just, that's my gut. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this is a 10-point win.
Detroit, yeah. So shots from the sideline siding with you as well, even as a Bears fan. Oh, how can you do that, Shots? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, it's good when the division teams are on prime time, and when you have these big matchups. Obviously, I'd love it for the Bears to come out on top in one of these matchups. But seventh letter, are you confident this week?
I think we've been injured for the last 3 weeks, but this one right here, I think we got people walking in off the street this week, playing on the defensive line in important spots. So, I do think we win, though. And the reason why is if we can keep, like he said, if we play keep away with it, I do think that we can maybe use. I actually like Jamal Adams. You know what I mean? I like them, but people never use them right. If you use him as a blitzer, he can't cover for shit, but he is a tone setter. He does play a style of football that fits with some of the things that we want to do. No Edgerrin Cooper. No, both your corner, 2 good corners are down. So I think we'll be able to move the ball, and then this will be like a 2021, like 2022, 2021 style, where it's like whoever get the ball last wins.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying, and it'll be a little bit more higher scoring than our games normally are. So, like I'm seeing, like shoot, it might go into the 40s. Might be like,
hey, I'll take that all day. I love those games. Yeah. Let's go.
Because I don't see us being truly able to stop one another. Hopefully LaFleur passes the ball a lot. Hopefully.
I hear. I say the same thing to Ben Johnson. I'm putting in a call.
Hopefully.
It's going to be interesting because obviously the game's different when they're inside, right? And
it's like they playing, and honestly, it's like they playing at home because they're built like a dome team.
When he walks in, and absolutely, yeah.
So the fact that they're built that way, and I think Josh Jacobs kind of gives them a little bit rugged mentality, running the ball, but I don't think that's what LaFleur wants to do against us.
It's funny how you have your complaints about Ben Johnson getting cute in the red zone, and I have similar complaints to LaFleur. It's not even a cute thing. He's an emotional play caller. So you can see it. There are certain times where you're like, dang, dude, like I know why you did that. I know why you made that call. Like I had that emotion in me, but you have to make the responsible decision there as coach and not do that or go the other direction. And there's a lot of that. He does a lot of that. So
he doesn't call his best games against us.
Well, and in the closer games against the better teams, it does force some of those emotional situations where he doesn't make the best calls, and I think that was maybe some of the contention between him and Rodgers too. Obviously, those are more important moments, but I think that is something that is a complaint and a frustration of mine that I do worry about in a game like that. So the keep away thing, running the ball, like I do see him, like if they get down, I could see him going away from the run way too quick, thinking that they got to make it up. We got to, take a shot. We got to get it in the air. And then you go 3 straight incompletions or something like that. Games get away from you when you do that. And he is definitely guilty of that as a play caller. So that's where I'm at with that. You need to win this game with fundamental football that's not emotional. And I will say, like, it's the teams are similar, man. Even on the defensive side of the ball, like, I think the injuries definitely are worse on the Lions. But we got no Edge Cooper, you got no Jair Alexander, no Stokes, I believe. But I can't remember what the other one was.
Ballantyne.
Oh, another one. So you're down a few. You got your safeties are strong, right? The Lions probably have 2 of the best safeties in the game. The Packers have one of the best safeties in the game, and not a bad compliment to them with a rotation. And the other thing is the linebackers without Edgerrin Cooper the last couple of weeks have started playing better. And that's not to say that they're better without him. I think that's just 2 things happening at once. Quay Walker had a little rough stretch. He's now got 3 straight games of like really good production. Isaiah McDuffie was one of the tone setters of the game last week with that hit, and he had 10 total tackles. So, I mean, there's guys coming in. So, no Edge Cooper, and he might be your best linebacker. That doesn't worry me as much because we've seen that over the last few weeks that there's other guys stepping up. It's the secondary that worries me, and just the Lions' ability to run the ball, man. David Montgomery is he just like demoralizing, and Jahmyr Gibbs is just such a change of pace there that if they're used correctly, I don't know what the recipe is to stop them. And the Packers don't exactly have a great history of stopping the run well.
So. And Penei Sewell with the quarterback controversy as well. Jared Goff.
And that shit made me mad because I'm like, don't do that shit, man. Don't do that again. Like, don't. Because if somebody hit his big ass low, then I'm gonna be mad.
True. Don't blow a knee.
Right. Trying to be cute. No more cute. Save it for the playoffs or something.
I think I think this is going to be a big Sam Laporta game. I just, I
Nah,
think
he's blocking.
you think so?
He's blocking.
So I'm thinking it's gonna be right around 31-27. Lions are gonna win this one.
Whoever get the ball last, yo. I think it's whoever get the ball last.
Yeah.
And at this point, if Trev was on, you know what he'd be saying? I always pick against the Packers. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Every single time.
I respect that.
31-27 Lions. It's going to be a great game. Weird things happen on Thursday nights, though. Weird things.
True.
And we playing at home on a Thursday. So we're going to be energized. Hopefully we get really loud and help us out a little bit and maybe get up a little bit early and just keep away at the end, man. Like, honestly, I'm really worried about this because the Eagles out here thinking they good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And someone said Jalen Hurts wasn't very good, but
he's not 11 for 19 last week.
He's surrounded by the best supporting cast in the NFL.
He 11 for 19.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. No,
he's average.
He's mid. Like if you want to call somebody mid, he's mid. He is mid. You know what I mean?
He just wins.
Man, you will win.
Okay, yeah, you're completing a few touchdowns with that cast, man.
You're underestimating my athletic ability. Come on.
I'm not. You would win. You can do what he does. You know what I'm saying? You might can't do the tush push because he do squat like 700 pounds. But
that's true.
But no, like I'm not beat for that. Like Saquon is carrying that team right now.
They
got a lot of talent. They got a lot of talent on that team, and they just
you see
with that
my boy Cooper DeJean making that tackle. Oh my gosh!
Man, they lost that game because the kicker lost that game, yo.
Yeah.
Oh man, they couldn't. He had 100 and whatever y'all 11 for 19 against that secondary.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's speaking of kicking in the marquee matchup for this week, at least in my mind.
The what?
Marquee matchup.
Well, I get it though, because the Niners are pretty low. Like you guys have a good chance of having a nice bounce back game here. So I hear you. I see where you're at.
All right. Well, Bears at San Francisco. It's going to be interesting. We got re-energized Thomas Brown. Everybody is in the building. They're excited. They're and we heard on the radio and kind of talked about this kind of amongst friends as well, that I think now as a Bears fan I
can
enjoy the rest of the season, because here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. If the Bears had won and maybe gone 9-8 with Flus, we would have kept it. Right now they've gotten rid of EBERFLUS, and you don't have to worry about tank wins, which is losses. We know that the coach is gone and they're going to go in a different direction, right? So now we can just look at the talent and watch, Caleb, continue to progress, see what they can do with the new coaches and everything like that. But then also, look at, hey, maybe we're going to be a spoiler for some of these other teams that think they're better. We were right in each of those divisional games. We should have won each of those divisional games.
You should have won each of those games, even the Commanders game. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's legitimately 4 wins you should have if you can complete those games as a well-coached team, and you don't. I mean, what it is.
If we go, to 9-8 or end up 8-9, whatever, I'm going to be happy, that we've kind of, progressed. Just beat the Packers, Lions, okay, whatever. Beat the Packers, beat the Lions, end of the season. Start with the 49ers. Start here. A lot of things offensively, continue to run the ball. Hopefully Rashawn Johnson is back. And the 49ers, yes, they are depleted. And so I think that's going to be a huge factor. 49ers are -4. I think the Bears do win this one, and I think it's probably going – they're down to obviously their third string running back. He is good, yes, and I expect him to have a decent game against the Bears. They're not very good at run defense, but I do expect the Bears to win. You're gonna love this 7th letter. The Bears are gonna win this week, 23-20. 23-20. They're gonna win this week. It's gonna be flipped from what it was last week. Bears 23-20 this week.
On a game-winning drive against that bullshit San Francisco 49ers team. It should be a blowout. Shouldn't even be close. But y'all going to keep it close for some reason.
We're going to keep it close.
I think that you guys do win. I do. I think the 49ers, I always said that last year, like I think they missed their window. And I think like some of the best players are starting to decline. Deebo Samuels isn't playing well, and you guys cover pretty well, and Deebo Samuels ain't the best route runner. I just hope that what I do think is going to happen, I think he's going to lean on just power all day against y'all. And y'all kind of rugged on defense. You know what I mean? Like y'all compete. Although like the stats don't say that you're that good against the run, you do compete well against the run. But I do think like if they're able to run the ball on y'all successfully, y'all don't really have a chance because I think they play good ahead, the 49ers.
Yeah,
like
I
that's
can
what
see
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
And that experience, the same way they beat us last year, they just was way more experienced than us. It was all just experience. Like we made the mistakes, their mistakes cut. They made all those mistakes in the first half, and when it came down to it, we made the mistakes because we were young, and you guys are still pretty young. And you're young at the most important position, and obviously he don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just talented as hell, and he just he gonna try to fit something in there on what's his name, the middle linebacker.
Warner.
Warner, yeah, that's getting picked. You know,
he has not thrown an interception in like 232 straight.
He had three last week, and we dropped it.
Still hasn't thrown him.
Fred Warner is one of the smartest linebackers in the league. That's not a good matchup for Caleb.
Little small, but
but still pretty damn smart.
Yeah,
the guy knows where to be.
Yeah, he do.
So 7:30, you are picking the Bears.
Yeah, if you guys stop the run, if they get into a power game and they get up early on y'all don't have a chance. They're not us. They ain't gonna let you back in it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, because they got embarrassed this year. They got embarrassed last game, and they coming back with
Is
Trent Williams playing?
What's that?
Is Trent Williams playing?
No, I believe he's out as well.
Yeah, he just lost his baby.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that. Yeah, that's
awful.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's more important things. Yeah.
So if Trent Williams ain't playing, y'all win.
All right.
Well, hold on. This says questionable. Updated today that he's questionable. So is Bosa.
Oh, they're not playing.
Oh, if Bosa play, y'all lost.
We'll just say they're not playing.
If he play, y'all lost.
All right. Hey, the other thing I'll say is don't underestimate Garindo. Their running back. He's good.
They're fast.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, and he's big too. He's like 225, I think.
Yeah.
But he's one of the fastest.
We got some good linebackers
in this class.
Yeah.
Who got good linebackers?
Bears.
What
are their names?
Edmonds, Edwards,
Fat Nose, and homeboy from the Eagles. They ain't stopped the run with them.
Sanborn.
Yeah, when they had
Sanborn,
Big Boy there, before Big Boy got hurt, they was good linebackers. But
I love this comment. Yeah, the 49ers have the deepest IR in the game.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So what about you, Miles? You going with my Bears this week?
You know, in honor of RevTrev, I will not pick the Bears.
That's fair.
I will refuse to pick the Bears. This one's for you, Rev. Just remember that. Not that, I'm really like doing something I don't want to do here because I think it's going to be close. I do think that the 49ers have that like cornered animal potential in them. And, you're going to San Francisco. So they're getting back home. They had to deal with Green Bay and all that. And I don't know, man. I don't think you can win this one. I think Garindo is going to have a good game. I think he's going to come out and help them control the game. If either Trent Williams or Nick Bosa plays, they got the game. I'm going to call this one. I'm going to say that Caleb struggles in this one. He's going against a tough linebacker. He's going against a tough defense. I don't think the Bears score more than 10 points. I think it's 20-10 49ers.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Although if that happens, Thomas Brown for head coach might take a nosedive this week, so that'll be interesting.
I sure hope so, man. I don't want him to be your head coach.
Justin Fields, like hallmark win. Like, remember, he beat the 49ers with EBERFLUS.
Yes, and the sliding in the rain. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
They got the defense to kind of stick with them. So
yeah, that's fair. All right, well. Great episode tonight. Definitely appreciate both of you guys being here. It's going to be another great week starting Thursday night. So as we close out, obviously appreciate you being here as always. When you fill in, Miles, always have great stuff. Where can everyone find you as we close out?
Y'all can find me Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central on the Pack Weekly Pod with my friend Tim Hamilton. We just get into Packers talk, just a lot of good stuff there. A little bit of rivalry banter, throw some shots here and there. But yeah, and then in the offseason, we'll have some draft coverage too. We'll dig a little deeper into prospects and do some stuff like that. But having fun, just hanging out Monday nights, come check us out.
Great stuff. Definitely like and subscribe that as well. You can find me on NFL Outdated on YouTube, Twitter. Find us on Freezin 4 Pod on TikTok. And you brought up the draft. I will be in Green Bay for the draft as well. So, yes, it's going to be obviously we're not talking draft yet, but I'm definitely excited to see kind of how that's going to shake out. So, and we've got hopefully Shelby will return next week as well, Viking perspective. And the seventh letter, where can everyone find you as we close out? Now we're looking down on you. We're looking down on you, huh?
Yeah, this is what it's gonna be like, right? Okay, all right, cool. I'm just getting ready. Top of the North, right? Got it.
Top of the North. You can find me on Top of the North. I'm out of Blue Juice. 7th letter 4 Instagram. On X, Twitter. Same OG on Instagram and Facebook. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Good to see you, Miles.
Yes, sir.
You, Andy. If y'all need anything, call me after the game. If you need suicide watch, you holler at me tomorrow night after the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you, brother.
Oh, we'll check on you. Hey, the Lions, if they don't win, it's going to be interesting. This Packer love fest. I'm ready for it to be done.
We're the most disrespected freaking 10-1 team ever, yo. Like, they was calling us crazy when we was beating the shit out of everybody. We win close games. That's not good enough for you. We beat everybody in our division. Everybody, 3-0. And nobody respects us.
Hey,
nobody.
I have been saying for weeks that the Lions are probably the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I also have been saying I think you're playing as good as you're going to play. So,
y'all ain't seen nothing.
We'll see.
Y'all ain't seen nothing. We actually saved shit for the playoffs, yo.
We'll see.
Ain't seen nothing. You saw nothing. Actually, you've seen nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'm about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out. And they just released Josh Reynolds yesterday. He coming back home probably after he clear waivers. Like, come on, man. Like, we gonna be all right, bro. We gonna be all right. Y'all ain't seen nothing, man. We the most disrespectful, and we used to it. I'm all right with it. You can still judge us as the Lions and all that. We can look at Jalen Hurts throw 11 for 19. I think they're the best team. You know what I'm saying? We can look at Caleb Williams have 53 yards in the first half and all that, and you know what I mean? Like, we can watch that. We can watch that. We can have all these injuries and still win. And nobody respects us. All right, we'll see.
Respect.
All good stuff. Thanks, guys. Once again, this has been the Freezin NFC North Podcast, Week 13 review, Week 14 preview. Let's go. Bear down.
Go Pack. Go.
Night, gentlemen. Always good to see you.
Me too.